Great to have you watching CNN 10 with our season winding down. We'll be producing daily newscasts through June 2nd before we take a break. First story this Monday, election results from France. The European country went to the polls yesterday, and its government confirmed last night that 39-year-old Emmanuel Macron would become the nation's next leader. Early results showed him leading with more than 60% of the vote. He's the youngest person ever elected in France. He was considered a centrist candidate who's socially liberal, and he defeated a strongly conservative candidate, 48-year-old Marine Le Pen. The election was divisive. Neither candidate in yesterday's runoff was from a major party. Analysts say that shows many French felt the traditional parties had left them behind. One big difference between the candidates was that Macron, who's never held elected office, strongly supported the European Union. Le Pen wanted France to leave it. That's a major issue for many Europeans following Britain's vote to leave the Union last year. France's challenges include slow economic growth, high unemployment, immigration, and terrorism. Following his victory, Macron promised to work toward unity in the country. 82 schoolgirls who were kidnapped in Nigeria just over 3 years ago arrived in the capital city of Abuja yesterday. It was part of an agreement between the African country's government and the terrorists who kidnapped the girls in April of 2014. They're believed to be part of the group known as the Chibok Girls, named for the town where the mostly Christian students were taken from their boarding school in the middle of the night. 276 were kidnapped in all. As many as 57 escaped shortly afterward. Others were released later, and negotiations to free the remaining 113 girls are ongoing. Those who were just freed were released in exchange for 5 commanders from the Boko Haram terrorist group.
Boko Haram is an Islamic militant group operating in Nigeria. Their name loosely translates to Western education is forbidden. Their first major known attack was on multiple police stations in 2003 in the northeast part of the country. But they gained notoriety when they kidnapped more than 200 schoolgirls in April 2014. Boko Haram's aim is to create an Islamic state and control large parts of northeast Nigeria. But the group has lost significant territory in the last year, partly thanks to an increased campaign by the Nigerian military, working in coalition with countries like Chad and Cameroon, who neighbor Nigeria. The new president, Muhammadu Buhari, has also moved Nigeria's military headquarters closer to Boko Haram territory in the north. But despite pushing back and the significant gains the military has made against the terror group, top military officials know that it will not be considered a success until the missing Chibok girls are found.
10-second trivia. Southdale Center, which opened near Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1956, was America's first what? Car repair shop, ice palace, hockey stadium, or shopping mall? When Southdale Center opened, it became America's first completely enclosed shopping mall. Online shopping. Businesses that deliver practically anything to your doorstep with free shipping both ways. These are some of the reasons why traditional malls are struggling or closing up altogether. Some, like Southdale, have reinvented themselves by leasing out apartment space and areas for new restaurants. Others are seeing the times change faster than they do.
There are few things quite as eerie as an empty mall. On a recent Tuesday afternoon at the Burlington Center Mall in New Jersey, we found just 24 stores open out of 118 retail spaces.
It's sad to me because I had to leave $2,000 of mirrors there and all the improvements. I mean, it was very expensive.
After 13 years, Paul Looker packed up and left his eyewear store 6 weeks ago.
I was always a big advocate of the mall. I thought it was a gold mine. The location's perfect. It has great parking. It has everything. It's just that it had to change, and it didn't change. It stayed with its model of 1980, and that's not working anymore.
What's happening here at Burlington is happening at more and more malls across America. Under pressure from growing internet sales, traditional mall stores are closing in droves. This, for example, was a Macy's that shut down in 2010. Many here feel that was the beginning of the end for Burlington. Another anchor store, JCPenney, followed in 2014. Both JCPenney and Macy's will close dozens more stores in the US this year, helping put around a quarter of America's 1,200 malls at risk, according to commercial real estate firm CoStar. Are there too many malls in America?
way too many malls.
For Stephen Maxon, who owns Burlington and around 10 other malls in America, it's an opportunity. Plans include offices, restaurants, even a warehouse for an e-commerce company.
If we're going to be able to do our plan, we'll bring thousands and thousands of jobs to Burlington.
You bought it in 2012. It's now 2017.
Yes.
Why is it taking so long?
The retail environment has changed so drastically since 2011 and 12 till now that the original plan that we spent significant time and resources on developing proved to be inadequate. So we had to scratch those plans and start all over again about 2 years ago.
Paul Looker says he got tired of waiting. He now has a new store and has expanded his eyewear business, adding a prescription service.
You have to adapt. We adapted by changing the actual whole structure of the company.
So retail's not enough.
Retail's not enough.
A painful lesson for malls like Burlington. Claire Sebastian, CNN Money, Burlington Township, New Jersey.
According to the CIA World Factbook, there's a very high risk of catching a major infectious disease in Cambodia. And according to UNICEF, bad hygiene habits in the southeastern Asian country are a deadly threat to children. There's something simple involving soap that could help reduce the problem. And after seeing a mother bathe her newborn in laundry powder, a college student took action, putting himself on the road toward becoming a CNN hero.
In the West, we take soap for granted, but for millions of Cambodians, that is not the case. Many Cambodians cannot afford a bar of soap, so they're going to prioritize feeding their families. When children do not wash their hands, they are vulnerable to illnesses which unfortunately can take their life. Cambodia is home to the legendary Angkor Wat temples, which brings in approximately 2 to 4 million tourists every single year. Hotels have sprung up to meet that demand. While I was working in Cambodian villages, I quickly realized that the soap was under my feet the entire time. Every single day, housekeepers throw the used bars of soap away. So I decided to save those used soap bars and solve a few problems at the same time. Once every month, we visit a hotel to collect whatever used soap has been generated. We sanitize the bars and remold them into brand new bars. Our soap recyclers are all local women who were striving to find some source of reliable incomes. We collaborate with organizations and get our soap into the hands of people who need it the most. Oh, very good. We also believe that soap bars is not nearly enough to change the behavior of these communities. It must also be accompanied with hygiene education.
Yes, yes. Very good. Okay.
No child should suffer because there simply wasn't any soap available. Oh, very good, yes. My hope for Cambodia's youth is for them to take their own health into their very own hands, just by a simple act such as hand washing.
A new detective in Pennsylvania is uniquely equipped to sniff out missing people. He's a bloodhound. His name is Prince. He was sworn in a couple months ago with a paw print to make it official. Might be a while before his training is complete. That's expected to last at least the rest of the year, but it looks like Prince is sent to be the crown jewel of a canine unit. Could have named him McGruff, and there are other breeds that can pointer out crime. Think of all the Beagle Eagles, the Great Dane Detectives, the Jailbird Dogs. Of course, Prince is from a royal line of dog detectives. All canines are pretty affective, at leash, Mastiff the time. I'm Carl Azuz for CNN 10.